Angular 16 has been launched recently, and with this version there are so many great features that have been added in Angular. In this video I'm going to talk about one of those features. The feature name is signals. Signal is something that will change the way of writing the code in Angular application. Signal is definitely going to be one of the most useful feature of Angular application. Let's understand what signal is, how to use it, and what are the benefits of using signal in Angular application. Let's understand everything one by one and step by step. Before using signal in Angular application, make sure you are using Angular 16. And how will you confirm that? You can simply open the command prompt or in a terminal window. For example, here I'm having this command prompt, and on this command prompt I can simply type one command, which is going to be ng version, this one. Hit the enter button and you will notice we will get the latest version of Angular that we have installed in the system. I have already installed Angular 16 in my system, that is why it is 16. But in case if you are using the older version, then you can try npm I install then -g for the global, and here you can type Angular then CLI. This is how you can install the latest version of Angular in your system. Let's hit the enter button. This will take around a minute and it will install the latest version of Angular. Here you can see the latest version of Angular has been installed successfully. Now let's close this window, and here I'm using this folder, and in this folder I'm going to create a new application by using the Angular 16. So let's open the command prompt or terminal window over here, and here I will type the very basic command that we always use to create a new application in Angular application, which is going to be ng new, and we can simply define the name of the application, and here I will type signal demo. Right, just hit the enter button. You can use the Angular routing or not based on your need. Here we do not have that need, so I'm gonna use n. Hit the enter button. CSS, you can choose any one of them. So it is installing all the packages that are required for a new project. This will take few seconds, and once the packages will be installed, then you will get a brand new Angular application. The packages have been installed successfully. Now I'm going to open the entire code in an editor, and here in this video I will use VS Code editor. Okay, let's navigate to that folder first. So we are going to that folder, and now here we can type a command code space dot and hit the enter button. This will open the VS Code automatically. Okay, right, so on this one I'm going to use, first I will trust everything we have over here, then terminal and this new terminal, and to run this application I can use the very popular command, which is ngserve. Let's use that ngserve. Just hit the enter button. So this will build this application and it will run this application in a browser. Now you can see that this application is listening to 4200 server. Okay, let's click on this one and open it in a browser. So here we have the browser, and over here you will notice that this application is working fine. This is a very common step that we always do while creating a new application. Now let's understand about the new concept, which is signal. To work on the signal, let's open this VS Code editor, and here we are in this src app, and this is the app.component code. We have so many things over here. I have removed some extra code, and here you will notice we are having only this Angular logo, we have this welcome, and these are some buttons. We can also remove them by clicking over here. So let's just expand this code, and over here we are having this SVG. Let's remove this one as well. Right, so this is the very basic code that we have, and it looks good, that is why I'm having it over here. Now let's navigate to this app.component file, and over here you will notice we are having this title property as well. Let's remove this title property also. First of all, let's talk about how to work with a signal. So here I'm going to declare a new variable, which is going to be first name. Okay, and this is how we generally work with some variables in the component. We can use this first name over here in this app.component file, and you will notice that we will get some data over here. So here I'm going to use this p tag, and in this p tag I can use this approach, and first name. If I will open the browser, you will notice we are having this value over here. Very good. Now I'm going to talk about signal. Signal is something that has been added in the core library of Angular. You do not have to install anything extra or any third party to work with the signals. Now if you want to work with the signal, then here you have to type signal, this one, and in the signal you have to provide a value. So the name that we are typing over there, we can simply type that name over here like this. Just save the changes. I'm not making any change in this template file. We are having only this first name like this. And now let's see what we have on the browser. Or it is better to just put everything side by side like this. So what we have here, you can notice that we are having this function and native code. It means this is not the correct way to get the value of this signal. To get the value from the signal, we have to use this like this. If I will save the value, then you can see we are getting the exact value over here on this browser. On this UI, I'm gonna create a new button, or first let's add a new BR tag, and here I'm typing the code for a button. This is the button, click me, and I'm gonna create a new click over here, and here let's use button click, this one, and let's create this function over here in this component file, right? So like this. Now here we will talk about how to update the value of this particular signal. Okay, to update the value of the signal, we have to use something that is available in this signal already. So this dot first name dot set, we have to use this set method, and in the set method we can set a new value. For example, here I'm writing something else. For example, here it is John, right? Like this. The default value of first name is Nitish, but if I will click on this click me, then you will notice that the value has been updated to the new value, and we are having the new value over here. Okay, now let's talk about some concepts over here. So instead of using this John, let's say I want to assign something else over here. Let's say it is 123. If I will save the value, immediately you will notice we are getting an error over here. What is the error? It is saying argument of type number is not assignable to the parameters of type string. It is saying that you cannot assign a numeric value or a number value to the string type. But here I want to know where I have defined the string for this particular property. I'm using this signal, and here I'm using this Nitish value. So based on this value, this signal will create a type. If you will right click over here and choose this go to definition, then you can notice there is a type, and you can provide the type in a signal. If you are using it like this, then automatically it is using the string type. If you want to define it explicitly, then you can simply type that value over here, right? If you want to work with something else, for example the numbers, then you can put the numbers over here, and this time you will notice we are getting the error over here. Let's say here it is 100. Save the value. You can notice we are having the 100 on the browser, and if I will click on this click me button, then you will notice that we are getting this 123 on the browser. Let's see what we have in this set method. So let's just right click over here and choose this go to definition. Over here you will notice we are having this method, and it is saying directly set the signal to a new value. Directly sets the signal to a new value and notify any dependents. It means if you are using this set method, then it will update the new value that we will pass in the set method, and it will remove the previous value, right? It is a kind of completely replacement. It works like remove the previous value and add the new value, and it will notify this change to all the dependents. Who is the dependent? This is the dependent. We are using this code over here on this template, so we will get that notification over here on this template that this value has been updated, and just update this value, and automatically this value will be updated for us, right? There are a couple of more methods. So this is the update method, this is the mutate method, and this is as read only. I'm going to talk about all of them over here. So let's talk about this update method. What is the difference in between set and update? The difference in between set and update is set will set the new value that we will pass, but here in the update we can update the value based on the current value. Let's see how it works. Let's comment this line for a while. And what is the current value of this first name? The current value is 100. Or let's go with the string type, and here I'm gonna type Nitish. That's the name. Save the value. We have this one over here on the browser, and now I'm gonna use this update. How to do that? This dot first name dot update, and in this update we can provide this lambda expression and x. So this x is representing the current value. Okay, so let's do it like this. What we are doing over here is we are using the existing value and we are appending this Kumar in this name. Okay, let's save all the changes, and here we are on this browser, If I will click on this click me, then you will notice we are getting this entire value. It means this update is working with the latest value of this signal and it is appending this Kumar in that name. Okay. If I will click again on this click me button, then you will notice we are getting one more Kumar, right? So whatever value we have in this signal, it is appending Kumar every time I'm gonna call this particular code. What is the current value? The current value is Nitish Kumar Kumar. Let's click one more time. This time you'll notice Nitish Kumar Kumar Kumar. We are having it 3 times. No matter how many times I'm gonna click over here, we will append this value every time, right? So this is how this update function works. Now let's talk about these mutate and read only. Before working on this mutate, I'm gonna work on this as read only. Let's understand how this will work. Once this will be done, then we will talk about this mutate. Okay, so this is the first name, and over here I want to create one more variable. So let's say it is public, and here let's say I'm writing obj, and in this obj I'm gonna assign this first name like this, right? Now over here I will comment everything like this, and I want to update the value in this obj. So what I can do like this, let's say here I'm writing this John. So what I'm doing is here I'm having this variable which is first name. It is a type of signal string type, and this is the default value. We are creating one more variable with name obj, and we are assigning the reference of this first name over here in this obj, right? Then we are using this button click method, and in this button click method we are updating the value in this obj, right? Because we are using this first name over here like this without the curly braces, it means the type of this obj is signal. To set the value in this obj, we have to use this set method, and in the set method I'm going to use this John. Remember, we are still using that first name on the template over here. There is no change over here. Let's save everything and let's see what we have on the browser. So the default value is Nitish that we have. If I will click on this click me, then you will notice the value has been updated to John. And this is very obvious. Why? Because we are assigning the reference of this first name in this obj, and we are ultimately updating the value based on the reference. Now this can make some problems in your code. If we are having some variables that has the reference and we are updating the value in that reference, then ultimately it is updating the value of the parent one, which is this one, because both of them are having the same reference. Now how can we avoid this type of problem? To avoid this type of problem, we can use as read only method. How to do that? So here I'm typing as read only like this. Now what will happen? The type of this obj is still signal. Here you can notice it is signal string, but this time it is only read only. We cannot set the value to this obj. We are getting the compile time error over here, and this is something that will save us in this situation, because this is only a read only now, so we cannot set any kind of value in this first name. That's the benefit of using this as read only. Now let's talk about that concept which is mutate. If you are learning this concept for the first time, then you will see that this update and mutate both are kind of similar, but there is one difference over here. This update is used to update the value based on the current value, but this mutate is used to change the content of the signal value. It will only mutate the content of that particular signal. Let's understand how it will work. Let's comment everything, and over here I'm going to comment this obj as well, right? So this dot first name, right, dot mutate, and in this mutate let's understand how it will work. Remember, it is not going to update the value based on the previous value. Here we are only changing the content. So if we are changing the content, it means we have to use the assignment over here. So how it will work? X is equals to, for example, here I'm writing 10, or because it is a string, let's understand here I'm writing cosec like this, right? So this is ideally it should work. So what we are doing, we are using this first name, we are basically mutating this value, right? So let's save everything and let's go to the browser and hit on this click me. You can notice there is no change in the value. Why there is no change in the value? This is because the functionality is mutate, and this mutate function will work only with the mutable data types, and this string is mutable, so it will not work over here with this string. To work with the mutable, we have to use either array or we have to use the object. So here let's say here I'm writing public, let's say employee, and here I want to define a new signal, and because here we can provide a type, so in this type I'm going to provide an object which is going to be name. Let's say the name is of type string, and then we are having this age. Age is a type of number, and over here I'm going to provide the actual values, which is going to be the name is, let's say it is this, and let's say that the age is 30. Now we can use the value on this template as well. So here it is. Let's use one more p tag over here, and here I'm writing employee. How can we get the value? So we can get the value by using this employee, then curly braces, and then just put the dot, and we can get both of them. For example, the name, and let's use that age as well. So here I'm using that again, this employee dot age, right? Let's save the value, and here you can notice we are having this employee is Nitish and this is the age. Now in this click me function, I'm gonna work with this mutate. So this time, instead of using this first name, here I will use this employee like this, right? And now in this mutate, and this is the type of this x this time, so we cannot assign the value of Kosik directly. Here let's understand, here I'm only appending the value in this age. So what I'm doing over here is x dot, for example, I want to update only the age, and how to do that? Let's say it is 10. Just save the value, and let's click on this click me button. You can notice we are getting the latest value over here on this UI. This is the 10. Earlier it was not working with this string type, but because we are using the object now, and object is a mutable, that is why it is working. If you will use the array over here, then it will work, but it will not work with other types, right? So that's the main purpose of this mutate. You can do so many things over here. For example, here you want to use like this x dot is +1. So I want to append +1 every time I will click on this button click. Let's click over here, see 31, 32, 34, 36, and this is how you can work with the mutate. Now let's talk about a couple of more concepts of this signal. Next concept is effect. The effect is something which is a kind of listener which will work every time there is a change in a signal. You can use that particular concept if you are having some dependent code over there. For example, you want to run some kind of code if there is a change in this first name. How to do that? So for that particular thing you can use effect. So here let's say I'm using this private and first name listener. Okay, so what I'm doing over here is I'm going to use this effect like this, and if you will scroll over here, then you can notice this effect is coming from this Angular core. The signal is also coming from this Angular core, right? So in this effect, again, let's see what we have over here. So let's just go to definition, and here you can see it is expecting a kind of lambda function. Let's pass the value. You can write your logic over here. So what I will do, I will simply log the value on the console screen. So in this one, I'm gonna write this dot first name, and let's make some changes in this button click as well. So here I'm gonna use this update this time. So what we are doing, we are working only with this first name. You can also comment this code as well. So what we are doing is we are using this first name, and in this first name we are using this update method. We are updating this value over here by using this Kumar, by appending this Kumar over here, and we are using this effect over here, and in this effect we are simply using this first name signal, and we are just logging its value on the console window. So let's open the console window as well, and at the, let's put it at the bottom side like this. Here is the console. Let's remove everything over here. Okay, let's just refresh the value again. You can notice we are getting this Nitish value over here on this console. Why? Because in this first name there is a value which is Nitish. So this is the value that has been added first time, and this effect is listening to this particular value. So we are logging it over here, right? Let's click on this click me. You can notice we are getting the latest value over here. It doesn't matter the place of updating the value in this particular variable. The only thing that matters is if the value is getting changed. The value is getting changed over here, and this effect is listening to that particular thing, right? Click on this one. This time you will notice we are getting this latest value, right? You can use multiple things over here. You can create one more effect over here. Let's say I want to create one more effect over here for this employee one, and let's say it is employee. You can provide any kind of name over here, and here I'm writing this employee right? And in this employee, let's update it like this. So you can see by default on this browser we are having both the values, which is Nitish, and this one is coming from this employee object. Let's clean it and click on this click me. This is the new value of this first name, and this is the new value of this employee object. Click me over here again. You can see we are only updating this age by adding 1 over here, and we are getting the same value, right? This is how you can work with the effect in Signal. Now you can notice some very strange code over here. We are creating these private functions, but we are not calling them from anywhere. We have simply written them, but still it is working. So there are a couple of ways. Either you can put everything in the constructor. So for example, here I'm having this constructor, right, like this, and you can put your both the lines over here in this constructor. So for example, let's put it over here like this. You can also put it over here, and you can simply remove them. Just save the value. Let's put a semicolon, and it will work. We are having it. See, everything is working as expected, right? Because we are not using this X, so we can also use it like this. Just save the value. See, we are again having this values over here on the console screen. No matter how many times you are changing the value, we are getting this code over here. If I will try to use this effect in the ngOnInit hook, then you will notice we are getting the error. It is saying this effect can only be used within an injection context, such as constructor. So you cannot use it inside an hook. You can only put it inside the constructor. Let's put it back over here like this, and let's just remove this ngOnInit. This one as well. This is how you can work with the effect. Now let's talk about the most powerful concept of this Angular signal, and which is computed. We can create some new signals based on the existing signals. How to do that? So here we are having this first name, and let's have one more value, which is the last name, right? This is the last name. As of now, I would like to comment everything. So let's comment this thing as well, this constructor, both of them. Let's comment everything, and this one as well. Let's just clean up this code, and I'm going to remove this constructor as well, and this one. Let's remove it from the template also, like this. Okay, so what we have, we are having two properties. This is first name, this is the last name, and we are updating the values in this button click. Let's use the last name over here, right? And let's say here I'm typing +1 +2, anything you can put over here. Now I have a requirement that based on these first name and last name, I want to display the full name. Let's first display the first name and last name. This is the first name, and let's put similarly the last name as well. So this is the last name, and here I want to display the full name. Right? How can I display the full name? So you can use some getters over here. You can create a getter property and you can just use it over there, but you can do it by using the signal as well. Okay, so here I will create one new variable, which is going to be public full name, and here I will use this computed. So in this computed, what I will do, I will simply combine both the values and I will just return it. If you do not want to use this return keyword, then you can simply remove this curly braces over here, and let's just paste the code directly. Now this will return the full name. Now let's see what is the type of this full name. The type of this full name is again a signal type, right? But it is only read only signal. You cannot update its value by using the update or set. You can only read the value. How to do that? So we are using this full name, and over here let's use this full name like this. Just save everything. If I will make any change in the first name and last name, then this will be reflected on the browser automatically in this full name. So first let's deal only with this first name. If I will click on that button, then I'm appending the +1 over here in this first name. Let's click on this one. So this is this one, and immediately you will notice that we are getting this value over here in this full name as well, like this. Because this is the string, so it will not add the value, it will simply append it at the end like this, right? You can see even if you are making the change only in the first one, this full name is listening to that particular value, right? Now let's comment the first one and let's use the second one. Let's refresh this page. Click me. You can notice we are updating this last name, but the value is getting reflected over here in this full name as well, like this. So it means if we are using multiple signals over here in this computed function and there is any change in any one of them, then it will get called automatically and the value of this particular variable will be updated, right? Let's update the value of both of them. See, we are changing the value and we are getting over here in both of them. Here we are updating the value of the first one and this is the last name, and you can see we are getting the updated value over here. I think this is going to be the most useful feature of signals, because there are so many situations where we need to update the UI based on some existing values, and as of the current implementation, either we have to use that behavior subject or we have to use some getter properties and we generally display the value. But now you can implement or calculate everything by using the signal. Let's talk about some more concepts. What if I want to change a signal to an observable? Can I do that? Yes, you can do that. Okay, we are having these two variables, so let's add one more over here. So let's say here I'm having this public, and first let's use this first over here. To convert the signal to the observable, we have to use one method which is toObservable. Let's import this toObservable. It is available over here, so let's import it. Import. This toObservable is available over here in this particular library. It is Angular core RxAX intro. Now we are having this first variable. It is a type of observable. Here you can notice the type is observable, right? Now you can perform all the operations over here that we generally do with the observables. So let's say I want to subscribe this value over here in this button click. So let's comment this current one. What I will do, this dot first dot subscribe, like this. So if I will click on this button click, then you will see we are subscribing to this particular first and we will get this value on this console screen. As of now, you can see we do not have anything on the console screen. Let's remove everything. Click on this click me and you can see that we are getting this value on this console screen because we are subscribing it over here. What if I want to do the opposite thing? We are having something as observable and I want to convert it to the signal. You can also do that. So I'm gonna create this first public and let's say it is last, or you can put any meaningful name, and this time you have to use another method which is toSignal, and in this one you have to provide your observable. So we can simply provide this dot first, like this. Let's import this toSignal as well. It is also available in this same library, like this, and this time you will notice that the type of this signal, let's remove this dollar symbol. You can see the type is this signal string, right? And you can get its value by using the normal ways, which is, let's say it is console dot log this dot last, right? So here you can see we do not have anything on this console screen. Let's clean everything just to get more space. Click on this click me and you can see we are getting both the values. The first one is coming from this line and the second one is coming from this line. So this concept of converting from observable to signal is very important whenever you are getting any kind of data from the HTTP endpoint, because you will get that data in form of observable. Now let's understand what is the need of working with the signals. There is something that is called change detection in the Angular application. What is that change detection? Whenever there is any change in the component file, then that change is getting updated on the template. And how does that work? It works because Angular has overridden couple of built-in methods from the DOM. Based on those methods, that change detection works, and that built-in method is overridden in john.js file. So we have to include that john.js file to work with the change detection. But the signal does not work in that way. There is no dependency on the john.js. So it means in future that john.js file might be removed. And because it does not have any kind of dependency on anything else, so it is super fast, it is easy to use, and the concept also looks very good because that change detection is not easy to understand, right? So that is all in this video. If you are having any kind of questions, feel free to ask everything in the comment section below, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.